Okay, well, you want the real? I mean, it's always a mix, right? There's always something going on. But Light of the World, for me, I think it was 2010, or 2011, I guess, spring, that I went to Light of the World. I had been a very, we say we're for sure all-in Catholics for a long time. Our faith was very important to us. Our relationship with God, with Jesus Christ, was very important to us. But I will say too, Monsignor, you all probably, I might not say anything this whole time that you all don't already know. So, but in my experience, you ever heard Monsignor talk about the 18-inch drop? So from here to here, right? So for me, that 18-inch drop really happened at Light of the World in a significant way. I say I met the Holy Spirit for the first time in a really personal way. So it was life-changing for me, and very excited to report that my wife just went on Light of the World this last November here, and she is still flying high. So she came back Monday night. Because of she really bears most of the load of everything the kids have to do. So she had said coming up to it, I don't know if I can do follow up and all that. I'm really not going to do that. So, but then she went to the first one, then she went to another one, and she just is immersed, and it's taken her faith to a new level, our faith together to a new level. So there's so much goodness around Light of the World. We're so excited about it. Personally, so just to give you a little background, a little more background on us, I guess. I'll try to watch the time a little bit, but I want you to know, who we are and why we're here. Not only, where we're going, but how we got here too. So we lost absolutely everything in 2000, end of 2000, beginning of 2001, and I mean everything. And we're literally saying, wow, I was saying, what are we going to do? We had 5 kids at the time. Where are we going to live? How are we going to eat? That kind of thing. And I very wisely had left college before I got my degree. Well, it seemed like a good idea at the time. And I've been working in construction field. I've been in insurance field for a while, but always in sales. So literally, I'm like, okay, we have 0 money. We don't know what we're going to do, where we're going to live. Thankfully, our in-laws took in my wife and I and our 5 kids for about 6 months. But I'm like, from an income standpoint, what's going to happen? But we had already made a decision much earlier that we would be faithful in terms of our family and the choices that we make, be open to life in the way that the church guides us. And so it was kind of like you're standing on the edge going, was that a good idea? Yes, it was. We're just going to say yes and keep going, right? And but within 2 weeks of this point, I got a job. Now remember, no degree, no experience in this way of any kind. I got a job at the 5th largest software company in the world, selling software to Fortune 500 companies. Well, learning about selling software to Fortune 500. And it was really miraculous, because they didn't do that. They didn't hire people without degrees, first of all, of any kind, much less. They only hired very, very technical, highly specialized salespeople in the software arena. But he got me a job there. So then over the last 12 years, we've been very, very blessed. And we've never saved tons and tons of money and have built up lots and lots of assets, but we also have not really had to worry much about that. So we've been very, very blessed. At the end of March, I had finished a great year. I was about 200% of my number, and I'm thinking, all right, now is when it kicks in. You see, you kind of hit your stride. I'm in that, mid-40s time. It's like time to really save up a bunch of money. Kids going to college, retirement, all that kind of stuff. But it became very, very clear to me that wasn't what God had in store for me, for our family. And the way, I've been involved with Lighthouse Catholic Media since it started. I helped name it. It started a friend of mine would get kind of a message after daily communion. And we worked at that same software company. The guy that started Lighthouse is the one that referred me to that company. So I've been involved with that, for a long time. And this last, starting in April, I found it very, very, Peggy's always said I've had 2 full-time jobs. Like one doing this evangelization kind of stuff, and then the other, my real job, And so I found it really, really, really difficult to concentrate on my software job. And it was really bothering me, because I take it very seriously, I was very focused on it. But it became a real problem. I'm like, why I'm constantly thinking about evangelization. The phone will ring. I literally went to confession twice. After the first time, I'm like, oh, that's done. Okay, now I can focus. The very next day, prayed. So, all right, Lord, help me focus on what's important to you, for me, and my family. And of course, I thought, it's the software job. And I could not concentrate at all on it. So I tried for a little while, went back to confession. Bottom line is, I knew that he was calling me to be all in full-time and working in evangelization. I didn't know, Light of the World was very important to me then, but I didn't know that this was where he was calling me specifically, because I kind of already had it set up. I worked with Lighthouse and another ministry called You Shall Believe Ministry, and it was like, this is it, this is my mission. But John Sinsky approached me about it and said, hey, the directorship for Light of the World is open. Do you know anyone who might be interested? And I said, no, but I'll definitely think about it. That was a Saturday, the men's group here. On Monday, he called me, he said, we were talking, and he said, so are you going to throw your hat in the ring? And I said, for what? He said, well, the Light of the World direction. I said, I didn't know you were talking about me, But it continued, and the Lord made it very, very clear, and continues to make it very, very clear that this is where we should be. So we are all in, very excited, and we can tell very clearly the reason that we're here is to make this grow, to take it everywhere. It's in the life cycle of Light of the World. It's ready to go everywhere. So we need to make that happen. So we're kind of at the beginning of the hill. Oh, this is the first slide of the presentation. This is, I always thought this is a symbol for the Eucharist. It's a symbol for Jesus Christ, actually. And this is going to be the presentation that I go through when I talk to a pastor and sometimes a bishop. More and more, it's going to be the latter, just for air cover. There's a bishop down in Kansas City right now that's very on fire about Light of the World. So, and he actually has people that he's appointing. So we're going to be meeting with them and getting into that mix a little bit. We have a number of different dioceses where the bishops were kind of aligned to go talk to them. So we're excited about that. But really where the rubber hits the road for me is talking to a pastor, talking to somebody that's really, this is what they live for. So this is kind of a backdrop to the conversation. And this actually started, I met with Monsignor Dan Hermes, obviously one of the other co-authors, about 6 years ago, and talking about different things. And he said, Brian, you need to understand something about a Catholic parish. They all have 3 groups of people. He said, first there's your core, right? Well, this is all of you and some others too, right? The people that you always see at church. These are the people that if you ask them, why are you Catholic? They have a pretty good answer. They know exactly why they're Catholic, right? But some interesting data about the core. Most people don't know this, but about 80 to 85% of all volunteerism at the parish comes from just typically about 7% of the entire parish. And about the same percentage, 80 to 85% of the financial contributions to the parish come from the same 7%. So that is, if you think about that in real numbers, if you have a parish of 1,500 families registered, that's if it's 70%, that's 105 families. That's 100 families versus 1,400 that contribute time, talent, and treasure of